Disclaimer: the following video goes into some heavy topics such as the ones listed here: grooming and sexual exploitation, sexual exploitation of minors, sexual harassment, workplace harassment, fetishism, sexual assault, transphobia, and ableism. If you find any of these topics discomforting, then please click off the video now. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The Cat Returns. This is a furry fanfic on Whisper of the Heart. -9 out of 10, A tier. What the fuck? The Powerpuff Girls movie. The biggest problem with this movie is that the tone of the movie is just depressing. At least the monkeys are fun. 2 out of 10, D tier. Alice in Wonderland. I love seeing Alice turn into a giantess. She's so cute as a giantess. This here is the first, and thankfully not the last, we'll see of giantesses on this list. I just love giantesses. Oh my god, why? I want to preface this video by saying that this isn't something I want my channel to be known for. I don't want my channel to just be Star Giant this, Star Giant that. So I implore you, when you're done watching this video, please go watch my other videos because they provide a much better understanding of what my channel aims to be known for after all of this. This video also won't be structured like my regular videos, so no chapters, no blue backgrounds, no avatars, just a speed paint, some images, some sound effects, and my voice. This video isn't something I thought I would ever have to make or something I ever wanted to make, but fuck it, let's go save the planet. Hi, I'm Matti Abraham, an artist on the internet and an involuntary witch hunter. Again. For those of you who don't know, over the course of about a year now, I made 2 videos on my former employer, Rebecca Starlight or Star Giant Productions. In the years since Rebecca's departure from the internet after John's video, it turns out Rebecca has been very busy, both when it comes to real life stuff, but also planning a big comeback. And apparently has also detransitioned and has been going by Ryan as well as he/him pronouns ever since April 2024. But for the sake of the video, as well as my own sanity, I will be referring to them as Star or Star Giant as well as they/them pronouns because if I had to picture their penis in my brain again, I might actually commit a felony. So why are we here? Well, it turns out Star Giant has been doing their usual shenanigans behind the scenes, and we'll be going over everything I have the context and knowledge for. Such as this video made in 2024 where they discuss the accusations levied against them, where they downplay what actually happened, certain media takes that should really make them reconsider being a reviewer because of how fucking bad they are at it, certain aspects of their life that genuinely send a shiver down my spine like them forming a relationship with the girl they asked to publicly embarrass herself online, everything they've been saying about me recently because of fucking course they have, things they've been saying about my friends, and them trying to give their 2 cents on everything that happened with the Saberspark stuff that happened a few months ago. All of this will be in no particular order, so let's get started. First off, we should probably give another recap as to things that happened after the release of John's video last March, but if you already know all this stuff, then skip to this timecode. Or you can go watch every video listed in the description for full context and come back when you're done. If you haven't been following along with anything the past year, what happened is the mysterious Mr. Enter made an hour-long expose video detailing everything Star Giant Productions did since they got fired in 2021. Things like grooming minors, enabling child predators, being an abusive boss, throwing their friends under the bus, everything that happened with me, and the Indiegogo scam where they tried to charge $25,000 to plagiarize an anime but lost $1,700. After that video blew up, Star Giant made a run for the hills, but our work was far from over. John, Wes, Grace, and myself all appeared on Lazy Bedhead's video going even further on some of these crimes, like going over the full extent on what Nekopan did and who the other 2 child predators were. This video also did numbers and it was quite fun to be interviewed for something like this, but things didn't stop there. John then proceeds to investigate the Nekopan situation himself and comes to the conclusions that the way it was handled was more botched than Star Giant's editing. And that's where things seem to have stopped. Then come 2025, I made a few Star Giant videos of my own where I say things like, and from what I gather from this video, there's a small chance Rebecca would try to countersue us for abuse or harassment, provided she's stupid enough to make Addressing My Abuse 2, where she rambles for 6 hours instead of 3. If Rebecca for any reason does come back to the internet, the best any of us can do is just ignore her content, not fall for her trickery, and she'll wind up fading back into obscurity. And heaven forbid anyone else gets hurt as much as I or any of the other victims have because of Rebecca Starlight. Hopefully I won't need to talk about Rebecca on my channel ever again, unless she returns and starts talking about me. And if she does, I will show no mercy. Okay, recap over for those who skipped that portion. For a while, things seemed peaceful and quiet and we could all just live in a world without the witch. But unbeknownst to all, Star Giant has been lurking in the deep, dark crevices of the internet ever since John's video dropped. Forming a relationship with someone who we will talk about, don't worry, and forming a cult of those who still follow their content. Such as the DeviantArt page that John tweeted about by the time of writing this, how fun. Once a day they review movies and they're just as unhinged as Star Giant's own videos, but if you don't believe that this is Star Giant Productions, then do I have the clip for you.
On my DeviantArt right now, I'm doing this thing called the 730 Animated Movies Project. If you don't know, from Snow White to Moana 2, there have been officially 730 animated theatrical films to hit America. And also, I guess, some streaming films. and every single day I've been reviewing a movie. And I've been able to successfully do this for 95 days straight. You wanna know why I've been able to do this so successfully? Because these things only take 2 hours to do. I watch the movie, which is basically an hour and a half long, then I write a review on it, which only takes half an hour, and then that's it. I can post it right away. It's so much easier than watching so many episodes of a TV show, trying to pick different things about them, trying to find different aspects of characters, trying to find the different plots, and then structure it all into a 10-minute video.
You're probably wondering how I even got this clip, and we will get there, but for now, let's just say being part of John's investigation team has its perks, like access to videos and such. But this DeviantArt page gives us quite a lot to go over, from shitty and unhinged media takes to the revelation of who Star Giant's been dating. You can see that the birthday on this page reached July 20th, and if you look at the Star Giant Productions wiki, then you'll see that it says that they were born on August 13th. So whose birthday is this? Well, if you look at the art pages that Star Giant's following, you can see that out of 153 watchers, Star Giant's only been following one person, somebody named Chelsea Loves Cartoon. Hey, wait a minute. Is that? No. Alright, let's get the melodrama. For those of you who don't know, this is Chelsea. 2 years ago, a video called Addressing My Abuse came out where in it, the witch got 5 people to testify for them, including myself. They go as follows. Mine was full of passive aggression, Jenny's was cut in half for reasons that I won't go over, Jackson's was just glazing, and Dar's was horrific. But out of all 5 of them, Chelsea seems to be the one that stands out the most aside from Dar's, and in it, she goes on for far too long about her mother's fart fetish. And I know because I unintentionally spent 30 minutes going over that testimony feeling nothing but sympathy for Chelsea because it was absolutely embarrassing. So why not only go back to that friendship despite that fact and convert it into a romantic relationship to the point of engagement? Well, recently it's come out that Chelsea's father recently passed away and he was the one who protected her the most from her abusive mother, and this was something I was kind enough to give my condolences for. And with that pain, that sadness comes negative traits, like vulnerability, and vulnerability leads to gullibility. Star Giant could have used this as an opportunity to slither into her DMs and coerce her into a relationship to the point of engagement. Is what I would say if I didn't find out they were dating since at least sometime after last Christmas and her father passed away in May. And the upcoming marriage is going to be the thing that causes the big return to YouTube, but behind the scenes, Star Giant has been posting privately since last April under a new moniker Sushi Cookie, where people can watch their content if they're nice enough to pay for it, locking their content behind a paywall. Isn't that just so scummy considering their quality hasn't improved to compensate? And if you don't believe this is the same Chelsea I've talked about previously, well, don't take my word for it, take theirs.
You know, I'm like envy at times. I see people often more successful than me, making me wish I had that.
You don't need to have thousands or millions of followers to be loved, Ryan. You got me for that.
Aw, thanks, Chelsea. I love you.
I love you too, Ryan.
A relationship like this can cause major reputational hits to Chelsea's following, given that she has 7,000 followers on Twitter, and she's willingly dating someone who's a known child groomer. Well, known by us and not by them, because as you'll see later, Star Giant doesn't watch any of the videos that came out about them. But speaking of videos, we have them. Most of them. We also have some pretty damning scripts for videos that would make Addressing My Abuse look like Avengers Endgame. Some of these reviews are just as unhinged, and the only thing that changed is their gender identity, and apparently these reviews have both an editor and funding by supporters. This all calls into question as to just what kind of audience this witch is forming, but knowing what I do, I'd say this audience is basically just a cult, one that me, Dar, and Dashi managed to escape from. We have access to many videos as we were given, and one of them does address the allegations, so let's see what's being said here.
Have you noticed that it's been 6 months since I made any videos? There's a reason for that, and you all know the reason why. The accusations. This is what I've been accused of. This is where the dark truth stuff comes in. Let's go over this, shall we? I'm not going to state any person's name other than my quick showing of the docs in question, but let's talk. Star Giant Productions does not belong in prison.
Oh boy, this is going to be a doozy. To give Star Giant this, they are right about one thing. Star Giant Productions doesn't belong in prison. They belong in an asylum. Just this goddamn list is enough to think that you're absolutely insane for thinking that you're innocent in any of this, and the first entry alone is just straight up admitting that you did what you're accused of. This list also features things like what happened with Nekopan, the Fiancé incident, both incidents that involve Wes, new stuff like what happened with me, and stuff that nobody even fucking said about you. Now before we get to mine, let's go over some of these and elaborate on what I said previously. In one of them, Star Giant claims to have not groomed their ex Anon when this is just straight up false. There's a whole section in Lazy Bedhead's video dedicated to Anon giving their testimony, and in this section of their list, Star Giant says, and I quote, "I told her at the age of 17 I wanted sex with her." Yes, I do see that in the same breath you say you wouldn't have sex with her until she was 18, but having this discussion with a minor at all is still grooming, you know? And I need to make it clear, grooming doesn't just apply to children. Grooming can also apply to adults, such as sexual grooming, financial grooming, or terroristic grooming. all of which were defined in Lazy Bedhead's video. Speaking of which, Stargiant also talks about the accusations of grooming Wes. The reason Stargiant says that Wes is in the wrong was because they commissioned him to draw fetish artwork when he was 17. Now, whether one considers this grooming or not, commissioning minors for fetish art is still a very stupid thing to do. Because you know who else did this? Just a robot. Fucking just a robot. Someone who commissioned a minor for fetish art of Jade Animations. And we all know the sad end to that one, don't we? Stargiant also doubles down on the incident with Wes, where they said that he was picking suicide for social brownie points, calling it an accident. Now, people like John, Lazy, and Wes himself have already discussed this in great detail, so I won't go into it myself. But what I will do is comment on this. Just because somebody accepts your apology doesn't mean that you're owed forgiveness. Case in point.
Sure, I lied in September 2020 when I said that I accepted her apology, even though I didn't say jack shit because I did not accept her apology, nor did I forgive her for what she did.
They also comment on all three of the child predators they let roam free in their Discord server, saying that because the courts never determined that Nekopan, Sean Soar, or Brandon Hackwith are pedophiles, then that's the main reason that none of them are arrested. You do realize that the courts don't determine whether somebody being a child predator automatically means they should be in prison, right? I have minimal court knowledge, and even I know this. Now, there are a few other statements in here, like the witch's campaign scam, dismissing the endo call, or saying that you have anger issues, which, like, nobody fucking said that. But I believe it's time we focus on what they said about me in these claims because, oh boy, do I have some shit to say here. Accusation: Ryan creeped out Matti Abraham. Truth: Matti was in an NSFW channel. He then later claimed to not be a fan of NSFW artwork. Even then, if the issue was a certain drawing, he could have requested me to take it down. First off, the accusation is just straight up downplaying what actually happened to me. Because sure, it started with you creeping me out by saying I should masturbate to photos of you or artwork of your OC when I had a girlfriend. But as I said in these videos, it only gets worse. Their truth is likely referring to the time I saw their nudes in a mall, implying that I was in that channel by choice when that's just straight up not how it happened. How Discord displays notifications on a phone is that you have the name of your server, the name of the channel the notification is in, and the icon to represent which server you're being notified about. Really, it varies to just how long a server's name is. If it's like 10 characters or so, then you're far more likely to see the channel that you're in. But need I remind you, your server was Rebecca Starlight's official Discord server. A name like that would take up the whole space, not leaving any room to see which channel you're posting in, so me seeing what you posted wasn't by choice, it was by mistake. But he later claimed to not be a fan of NSFW. No, I didn't. I've never once in my life said that I was never a fan of NSFW. If I truly wasn't, then I wouldn't offer NSFW commission services for the freaks out there who wouldn't pay me to draw that stuff. Really, it boils down to my tastes, but whether I like NSFW content or not is something you have no right to comment on because I do not wish to discuss my sexual interests on the internet because that's not what my channel aims to do. But even then, if the issue was a certain drawing, then he could have just requested me to take it down. Okay, yeah, I could have requested you take down what I saw had I asked, or, you know, you could have just not had an entire section of your server dedicated to porn? This is the Cartoon Reviewer's Discord server where people can talk about animation and movies. This isn't fucking Pornhub. Not everyone's gonna be as horny as you, and you don't need to give that shit to people who don't ask for it. This entire section, this entire doc, is literally just downplaying. You didn't just creep me out. You sexually harassed me, didn't properly pay for my services, didn't properly credit me, didn't get my permission to use my avatar in a video, and wrote libelous statements against me. And that's not even going into this insult to all passion projects because to be frank, this thing probably copies more from Madoka Magica over anything I got cooking up. All things considered, you abused me, yet you say it was the other way around in your shitty ban list. And this should be stated, but Stargiant says in the later script that they didn't watch John's second video on them. So that probably also means they didn't watch the Mongrel video, Lazy's video, or either of my videos. So that just begs the question, how do they know this? How do they know what they're being accused of?
I have not been arrested, nor have the police ever once contacted me from March of this year to now. So what does that mean? It means that I did nothing wrong, and that people have committed slander towards me.
Well, the answer is maybe somebody saw the video for them. Either their girlfriend, their editor, or any of their other cultists gave Stargiant the clip notes on what's being discussed in them so that they can write a list full of despicable and blaming bullshit. But it doesn't stop there. In this list, you can see their former co-star Dashi the YTP get a section of her own, because after all was said and done last year, Dashi seems to have become a target of hatred for absolutely no reason. But we'll get into that once we get to the Saberspark stuff. For now, let's see what else this idiot has to say.
By now, the police would have arrested me and I would be in prison. Here we are, 7 months later since I was reported to the police multiple times. And yet, I have not been arrested. Nor have the police ever once contacted me from March of this year to now. So what does that mean? It means that I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. No! By the logic of reality, I did nothing wrong. I'm Rebecca Starlight. Either realize that I'm fine the way that I am and start watching my new videos, or just leave me alone. If you think I'm still an awful person to this day despite me proving my side, or just don't care, get a fucking life.
If this doesn't make you want to throw your PC out the window, I don't know what will. And you not being in prison isn't for the lack of trying. John flat out stated he walked to the police station and tried to file complaints and reports against you, but the police shot down the report out of pure confusion. Just because you're not arrested doesn't mean the crimes you're actually guilty of just magically go away. There is evidence, there is testimony, and there is the court of public opinion. And given just how many views any of these videos have, which is a combined total of 600,000 views by the way, means that pretty much no one is just gonna let you forget about this.
Why not sue them then? I mean, I am in the right, and these guys ruined my internet life, forcing me to delete most of my social media accounts, including the 75,000 subscriber YouTube channel with over 15 million views.
Because I'm pretty sure if you tried to sue us, all we'd have to do is present all the evidence we have, play all the testimonies and interviews we collected, and the judge would immediately lock your ass up. Star Giant, you are many things. You're an abuser, you're a child grooming sex pest, and you're absolutely guilty of what you're accused of. One thing that you're not is in the right.
Oh hey Ryan, we're sorry for accusing you for years on end of these dangerous crimes that you never committed. Can you forgive us? The answer is no. But even then, no real person acts like that. They won't admit their mistakes.
Says the witch who proceeds to not admit to their mistakes or take an ounce of accountability whatsoever.
People accuse me of being a narcissist, but I'm not a narcissist. Look at the definition of the word. To lack empathy is one of the definitions of it. Empathy is the ability to understand the feelings of another. I care about other people. Ergo, I am not a narcissist.
Given the fact that you have no empathy for your many victims, shows that you're pretty much the literal definition of narcissistic, especially if you're out here stating you're in the right.
And why do people claim this? Saying I'm the best editor or something? Just because I said that one time by accident? That was years ago. And even then, that was a one-time statement. And if you hear my tone, I was very tired. You took statements from me out of context. And a way for me to instantly hate you is taking something out of context and calling that evidence.
To be completely honest, your tone sounded more confident than tired when you said this.
I was John's best editor. The only other editor that was as good as me was Crimson Mayhem.
Rebecca was my worst editor.
And because you like something of your own style doesn't mean others will. I may be a good artist, but I'm not going to say I'm the best in the world. If there's something I like in my style, that doesn't mean that others might. In fact, oftentimes I nitpick my own work saying how this could look better or how this has some small errors that no one would notice otherwise. Also, oh my god, we get it. People say you're a bad editor, which is objectively true. Just move on.
You're the narcissist. Look in the fucking mirror. You don't know me. If you were me, you will understand me. If you're not me, then you won't understand me. And the same is true in reverse. I am not every other person in life, so I won't fully understand them 100% of the time.
You're right. We don't understand you. We know you're a narcissistic asshole with no ounce of sympathy. We understand you're not bound to change anytime soon. But what we don't understand is just how stupid you are to think that you're not guilty at all and that you're living in a fantasy world where everything's just happiness and rainbows. I know in Star Giant, they might say something dumb like, well, Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin have done far worse things and neither of them are arrested. Kinda like how they thought that Randy from South Park literally caused the COVID pandemic. Well, my counter to a sentiment like that is that Homer or Peter aren't arrested because they can't be arrested because they're not fucking real. You, on the other hand, are a real person, you've done really bad things, and if we could get you arrested, anyone would have done it in a heartbeat.
You are evil if you truly believe that I am evil. I did nothing wrong.
Oh no, I must be so evil to have called you evil in the title and thumbnail, despite the fact that I did things like give Darren money when I caught wind of her living situation at the time, spent 30 minutes empathizing with your girlfriend and said this about your editor, and helped many others escape your clutches. Oh, how truly heinous.
The reason I stated by the logic of reality I did nothing wrong is because that is a legal statement.
A very bad legal statement because by the logic of reality, you did everything wrong, and no one's gonna let you forget it.
It means that, in the eyes of the law, I am innocent. There is no reason for why I should be free now if those accusations were even truthful.
To reiterate, just because you're not arrested doesn't mean the crimes you're actually guilty of just magically go away. In this video I'm pulling a bunch of clips from, they proceed to flash a bunch of porn for absolutely no reason, but I'm not going to show it, so let's just skip this part. They delve into the messages that Friendship is Magic taught many audiences by calling them toxic messages, and proceeds to give low-key threats by using footage from The Lion King, Madoka Magica, and Amphibia.
I don't trust My Little Pony, or by extension Hasbro, with messages on friendship anymore. They are toxic and dangerous with them. For a show called Friendship is Magic, it taught too many toxic morals, many of which I took to heart. And that's what led me to that path from the past. What led to so many people hating me for no good reason. And not helping Friendship is Magic is that other products, before, during, and after Friendship is Magic's lifetime, have taught better messages on dealing with toxic individuals.
You don't deserve to live.
You're sharp. Yes, you're right about me. I don't give a damn if you live or die. I don't care. If you make her suffer anymore, then I will kill you.
Now that's all for this video and their piss poor defenses, but what about their other takes? Well, unfortunately, those haven't changed much either. And apparently neither is the thumbnail style in their videos. In fact, it's actually gotten worse, but also a bit more familiar. Okay, I'm gonna nip this in the bud before they call me a ripoff. It makes sense that my thumbnail border looks like this because I made the original border that was used in every Stargiant Productions video thumbnail way back when. The border itself here is way too thick, it's asymmetrical, and the person who made it doesn't seem to know how to draw circles or design a fucking logo. But on to the media takes.
This movie is not really that similar to other movies from the past and is just able to be a lot more original than I thought it was going to be. I can't really think of a single film out there that this is similar to. Even other DreamWorks movies, I can't pinpoint a single one that is similar. Even other products with robots like Nichiju or Robots or My Life as a Teenage Robot, they don't act anything like the Wild Robot.
Because why would they? They're all completely separate pieces of media with completely separate writing teams and directors. Not every movie with robots are identical to one another, and not all DreamWorks movies are identical to one another. Movies like Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, or even more recent films like The Bad Guys or even The Wild Robot. Like, you do realize all those are based on books, right?
And I hate it when she lies to her friends. Give Danny Phantom credit when it comes to secrets, at least he told his friends the truth. These secret identities are so terrible. They basically make me turn away from the show. Whenever I hear about a secret identity or show having one for like an entire show, my interest disappears. Like, the quickest way for me to not want to watch a show is if it stars a bunch of liars.
And there it is. You thought I was joking when I said that they had that opinion in my first video? Well, here it is, straight from the horse's mouth. Hey, remember what happens to superheroes when they don't keep secret identities? Exactly. It's not because they want to lie, it's because they want to prevent that from happening and causing a lot of pain. Again, the entirety of Spider-Man No Way Home is the prime example of the consequences that come with being a superhero and having your identity be public. Kind of ironic given that you, Stargiant, had no secret identity separating yourself from your horny self, and that means you're facing the same consequences Peter went through in Spider-Man No Way Home. But no, according to your own words, you don't like it when movies are too dark and depressing because you'd rather stay in Candyland like a little bitch.
I didn't see this movie in theaters because I heard that it was a dark film and I just wasn't into dark stuff at the time.
And these videos contain a lot of the other typical stuff Stargiant does in videos, calling pieces of media rip-off when they don't like something.
If you're gonna rip off another show, don't directly reference it as an Easter egg in your own show, i.e. the season 2 finale with them mentioning Anne. Continuously
mentioning, meaning Christina V multiple times. Seriously, get that woman a fucking restraining order.
I met the actress for Hamura Akemi, Christina V. Twice. And both times were perfect. The second time that I met Christina V, she remembered me from 2023. Yay! Earlier this month, I even got her to do a recording for me.
Hey Ryan, it's Marinette, and I'm here with Hamura Akemi, Murasaka Mayday, Donald Duck, and Sailor Mars. And we all wanted to wish you and Chelsea a very happy future together. Congratulations on your love. That's so exciting. And I hope you guys also listen to some great music. Alright, take care everybody. Farewell, do not sign any contracts. Bye!
Bringing up how some pieces of media should be like the ones they actually like when they're not relevant to the review itself or to whatever Stargiant's actually critiquing, such as Amphibia, Madoka Magica, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, and Super Mario Galaxy.
Francine is basically the cutesy little sister, you know, despite being an ugly alien. And don't even get me started on how ugly this show looks, by the way. If you want me to like the little sister in a situation like this, you need to make her not a cliche. Give her a character. At least make her interesting or fun. That's why I love Polly from Amphibia, because they give her a personality, interesting character, and flat out fun and sadistic moments from her.
Let's light 'em up!
I don't think they realized that if pieces of media like those were replicated, they wouldn't be as unique and they would lose all charm. Like seriously, you can learn that from the Disney remakes and their early sequels. You know, forget being a bad editor, can we just call this person a bad reviewer? Like seriously, their writing is dog shit, their takes are so bad they're hard to follow, and their reviews are just not good. Like, at all.
She got very tall, very fast.
Oddly enough, cartoon characters that are teenage girls often show their belly buttons off, so Riley with this outgrown shirt would surprisingly fit in.
Pumpernickel? Aw, you guys.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Christina V is in this episode. If you don't know, Christina V is my favorite actress of all time. I even met her a couple of years ago at a Comic-Con. She voices my favorite anime character, Hamura from Madoka Magica. By the way, I actually met Niamo's actress Moncarillo earlier this month, so it was nice to finally meet someone from this anime.
Attention restaurant customers.
Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker.
Okay, media takes over, let's talk about Saberspark. Now we've been given a long-ass script to an unmade video that showcases Star Giant Productions giving their 2 cents on the Saberspark stuff that happened a few months ago. And for those who don't know what that is, basically somebody named KP was making a video talking about somebody named Chris, but marketed the video as an expose on 2 people, DA Games and Saberspark. Mainly because a supposed SA victim named Emily Jones came out about a story involving Saberspark that happened almost 13 years ago. And to spare you the effort, KP's video was so bad it almost gives Addressing My Abuse a run for its money. So bad in fact, it was picked up by better investigators, like Mr. Enter, Lazy Bedhead, and Beckett from Cope and Seath, and these people understood how to handle an investigation as serious as this. Either you handle it with immense care and respect for the victims in question, do extensive research on everything, or you simply leave it alone. What you shouldn't do is dip your toes in hot water just to spite Mr. Enter. Obviously I'm not going to go over everything this script talks about, because you can go watch Lazy Bedhead's stream if you want the full coverage. It may be 7 hours, but I promise it's worth it even to just listen to what's being discussed, and also to hear me crash out.
Even then, if the issue was a certain drawing, he could have requested me to take it down.
That's not what happened at all. I wasn't intentionally in an NSFW channel. I was on my phone and I was clicking on a tab and I was just taken straight to an NSFW channel and it was like live action porn. It wasn't drawing. It was actual straight up fucking news. And what would it change anything if I asked to have that shit taken down? Fucking no, it wouldn't have.
God.
It would still be up there.
But to summarize, Star Giant's narcissism somehow twists a story that has next to nothing to do with him into the worst case of main character syndrome I've ever seen. If this was made into an actual video, it would be the worst video I've ever seen. I'd rather watch Fant 4-Stick over this. Hell, I'd rather watch Lilo & Stitch 2025 over this. So let's pick this thing apart.
I hate the cartoon community. I call them the cartoon cult and will be calling them that forever due to how abusive the place is. Everyone there hates my guts for false reasons.
This is just past the bare bones intro to who the characters of the story are, and we're already getting into some stupid shit. Calling the cartoon community the cartoon cult when you want to be in some of these circles makes you come off as bitter that these people actively reject having you around. Not that you deserve to be in such an extensive community given that your reviews are dog shit, your editing is ass, and your writing sucks chicken dick.
Everyone there hates my guts for false reasons. Josh Scorcher, LS Mark, Phantom Strider, Rebel Taxi, and Shafrilla's Productions all hate my guts. These are the biggest people that I used to follow that hate me. But there was one person that avoided that, and that was Saberspark. Steven is the only good cartoon critic that I have enjoyed for the past year.
These people probably only ban you because you're a blatant sex pest nobody wants anything to do with, and in the case of Phantom Strider, he probably only banned you because of the stuff involving Nekopan. Saberspark is probably the only one who didn't ban you because he probably either doesn't know who you are or just doesn't care about you. Like, at all. He probably only found out who you are from Lazy Stream, and even then he was probably only there for like a fraction of it.
A little over a year ago, people called me a pedophile and child predator. This ended up being false, because if it was true, I would have been arrested by now. Here we are, 17 months later, and I have never been arrested, but we'll talk about MY controversy in this document much later.
Except no, nobody called you a pedophile. A child predator, maybe. A child groomer, definitely, but never a pedophile. And again, just because you're not arrested doesn't mean you're not guilty. And get ready to see Star Giant talk about themselves way too much in a situation that has next to nothing to do with them. It comes up a lot.
Remember, I think about things fourth dimensionally, meaning that I ask questions that most people wouldn't ask. And that's what we'll discuss in the next chapter.
God, I've always hated when they say to think about things fourth dimensionally. I don't even think they know what the fourth dimension is, scientifically speaking. In simple terms, the fourth dimension is often understood as time, which combined the 3 spatial dimensions of length, width, and height creates a 4-dimensional space-time described in physics. And that's just a dumbed-down version of what the fourth dimension is. If you try doing just about anything fourth-dimensionally, then you'll end up wasting time. Kinda like how you waste everybody else's time, Star Giant.
My current channel only has 10 subscribers, so I'm not doing it for the money, I just make videos for fun. But my old channel, Star Giant Productions, had 75,000 subscribers at its peak. 75,124 to be technical. I got a total of 33,813.25 across 10 years.
Yet you couldn't even pay your fucking artists or editors half the time. Like honestly, I've seen you pour all your money going to conventions and meeting voice actors over creating a stable income for those who work for you. And also, this is a serious situation that almost ruined a man's internet career over false rape accusations. This is not about you. This has nothing to do with you. I'm pretty sure the last thing people thought when looking at the Saberspark stuff was Star Giant Productions.
I do miss the days when YouTube was fun, as well as the entire internet when they were my friends per se and weren't worse than my middle school days. Yes, the internet, especially in 2024, is worse than middle school. 2024 was the worst year of my life because of the internet.
Then perhaps maybe you should get off the internet and stay off? Seriously, you're so terminally online that it never occurred to you that touching some fucking grass is also an option. It's your own fault that 2024 was such a bad year for you on the internet. Nobody's gonna let you forget. And what does your personal life from middle school have anything to do with the Saberspark stuff? Nothing. Literally nothing. You keep bringing up irrelevant topics for the sake of making this video way longer than it has any right to be. The next point starts talking about the accuser in question, Emily Jones, and when bringing up her own controversial history on the internet with this documentary on her, Star Giant says this.
I heard from others that this particular document is filled with misinformation, but I didn't watch the video so I can't verify.
This should be solid proof more than literally anything that Star Giant doesn't do the bare minimum research when diving into serious topics like this. In fact, they outright refuse to do proper research because later in the script they say this.
No, I did not watch John's video on Rachel, or all three of them.
And if Star Giant did the slightest research, they'd know that John only made 2 videos, not 3. And the second one sums up the fact that Saberspark is innocent. And even then, there are better videos on this matter that dove even deeper than anyone on John's team could. Like Beckett's videos, where he was able to interview people like Claire Corlett, Michelle Krieber, and also Saberspark himself. And if you watch any of these videos on the situation whatsoever, you see that there's literally no reason for you or anyone to make a video like this. It's over. We know who's innocent and who's guilty.
Also, really Rachel, you didn't even keep it up for 24 hours. I kept my shitty abuse video up for nearly 2 weeks, and it didn't get hit with backlash right away. Hell, I never premiered because you shouldn't premiere allegations.
Okay, this is a lie. This is an objective lie. You did premiere your abuse video, and I would know because I was literally there. And I must reiterate from past collabs I've had that it was the most painful experience of my life, and I was assaulted when I was 15. But to give Star Giant a bit of credit, at least they admit that the abuse video was ass cheeks. And yet this script outdoes that video in terms of how bad it is by tenfold.
Rachel, you should be flattered that someone masturbated to you. No, I'm not taking that back ever. And I'm gonna go deeper into the why right now. You're a very, incredibly disgusting human being, Rachel.
I'm sorry, fucking what?
And it's better for someone to masturbate to them than to sexually assault them.
To be as fair as I can, I don't like KP, or how she handled the Saberspark situation. However, one point I do agree with her on, that it's just fucking sexual harassment if you've ever been masturbated to. Like, if anyone ever masturbated to my avatar for any reason, I wouldn't find that flattering. I would find that fucking gross. Ugh, let's just move on. There's just so much stupid, and we're not even halfway through this shit show script. Now, there's a whole section in this script dedicated to Mr. Enter's involvement in all this, and if you thought Star Giant making this video all about themselves was bad, well, you haven't seen nothing yet. Buckle up. This is going to be quite the wild ride.
I will be bringing up his team once again because they abused me and have done bad things.
I think it pretty much goes without saying that this is literally just addressing my abuse too, except this time, no one's rooting for you. Like, at all. Making what I said here astoundingly accurate. There's a small chance Rebecca would try to countersue us for abuse or harassment, provided she's stupid enough to make Addressing My Abuse 2, where she rambles for 6 hours instead of 3. I hate being right. I hate it so much, honestly. Can I just be wrong for a change?
For a recap, Mr. Enter, whose real name is Jonathan Rosansky, and who I will call John throughout this documentary, is my former ex-boss. I used to edit his videos and helped him gain thousands of subscribers and thousands of dollars. Then he fired me over false accusation.
Wah, wah, wah. Cry me a fucking river. I highly doubt you, of all people, got John thousands of dollars when your editing's not worth squat. John didn't fire you for false accusations because the reasons why he fired you are actually true. Things like workplace harassment, toxic narcissism, leaking private information, and just being bad at your job. Like, seriously, I just saw that Lights Out review that you did, and it is way worse than I ever imagined. The legends are definitely true. I may not be the best editor in the world, but I guarantee I can edit far better than you can. Also, oh my god, John fired you like 4 years ago. Just fucking get over it.
Also, for John's team, I will be calling them by their birth names. In serious stuff like this, I use the original name. Courts also do this. When accusations happen, people don't call you by a nickname or preferred name.
So this is a part of the script I find immensely funny because Star Giant claims to be using everybody's legal names, but at the same time, they still use the name Matti when talking about me. And the use of the name Matti likely shows that Star Giant doesn't know what my legal name actually is. Matti is a nickname that's short for Matheson, and Matheson is my middle name, and my first name is redacted. Literally, my name is just a black bar. Also, side note, will you stop misgendering and dead-naming Wes? You claim that John and Wes were transphobic because they hate you? Well, now you detransitioned and they still hate you. If anything, you become the very thing you thought that these people were. I've been using the redacted version of the script because of how much Stargiant misgenders Wes and dead-names other people, and it utterly disgusts me.
You lied about me, committed slander, you're no different from Rachel. And I didn't escape per se. If I did, then this is the fucking easiest escape route ever. I am a nice, wonderful, kind, cute, and innocent human.
Bitch, you are not innocent. You are the opposite of cute or kind, but you are wonderfully stupid, but that's about it.
I have never manipulated anyone in my life. People think I abused people. I didn't, that's the thing.
You have abused people. From people in your staff to people who called you their closest friends. Don't believe me? Well, there's quite a few videos that prove this.
The court said I did nothing wrong and that I am 100% innocent. So ooh your move, you fucking abuser.
Bitch, just because we weren't able to take you to court doesn't mean you're innocent in any of this. I swear to God, this is literally just addressing my abuse too. This whole script has gone completely off the rails. Remember, this is a script for a video covering the Saberspark situation from a few months ago. John's involvement is what literally sparked this idea in this idiot's brain. The plot is totally lost, and it only gets worse from here.
So no one, since I never hurt anyone in my life. Yes, even 17 months later, I stand by all of this because it's the 100% truth.
Oh, no. I can quite literally say the contrary. John did get in touch with some of your former friends, like Dar and even your grooming victim. And I can testify for this because I saw this happen first-hand.
Then again, he claimed that I favor fetish art of minor fictional characters, and yet he enjoys cross-dressing art of his own growing around characters. Oh, I get it. Fetish content is only good if it's of your characters, John.
Okay, this is a dumb statement because A, you do favor fetish art of fictional minors like Anne from Amphibia or Madoka and Homura from Madoka Magica. And if the reviews from earlier are anything to go by, you also openly gooned to Alice from Alice in Wonderland, a 10-year-old girl. And B, John is asexual and aromantic. I'm 99% sure you're just throwing around inaccurate claims to get whatever audience you have to be on your side.
You are a liar and a hypocrite and an abuser. 3 strikes, you're out. Shame on all of you, every fucking team member of John's is evil. John, Grace, Wheeze, Sarah, Coda, Matti, Adam, Ava, Anna, whoever the fuck else wants to suck John's dick for social brownie points, you are people that only care about your own PR and making sure it's good rather than defending the innocent and getting rid of the evil.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. I've known everyone on John's team for over a year, and while they're not saints, they're definitely not evil either. But to address this PR bullshit, let's pretend I didn't join John's investigation team. I don't testify against you, I don't appear in live streams, Lazy doesn't interview me, and I likely wouldn't have the audience that I do today. But what would also happen is that no one would know what you personally did to me, from sexual harassment to workplace harassment to general abuse. Like, let that truly sink in. I had to get sexually harassed to get where I am today. And while I do appreciate John for spreading the word, I will admit that he's not perfect, but I will also admit that I've greatly misjudged his character over the years.
I was sexually assaulted 7 years ago back in 2018. The only reason why I never got him arrested is because I could never get his name.
This isn't about you, Stargiant.
All I know is that he's from Maryland and he grabbed my ass sexually without my consent, and claimed to be transgender and forced me to kiss him.
This isn't about you, Stargiant.
I'm not sorry, I never was sorry, and I never will be sorry because I did nothing wrong. For my whole life, I remain an innocent person.
To agree with what Dashi said on Lacey's livestream, the further you get into the script, the more it just feels like a game to them. Frankly, I find it rather insulting how you absolutely refuse to take a shred of accountability for what you did to people. Be it from John's team, to me, to your own grooming victim. People who were genuinely hurt because of you. Awesome. You'll love to see it.
No, I did not watch John's video on Rachel. Or all 3 of them. I didn't even watch his second response video on me. The Star Giant Productions belongs in prison because I do not want to commit suicide.
So like I said, this bitch outright refuses to do bare minimum research even from those who investigate these stories. Also, I find it very interesting that you claim to not watch John's video on you because you didn't want to commit self-checkout early, yet at the same time, you seem to know exactly what he says in that video against you, almost word for word. Strange, isn't it?
John shit talks me to this day. He even brought me up a couple of times during this controversy. He shit talks me as well for jokes. The ugliest thumbnail I've ever seen is the terrible certifiable super sitter edit. The older thumbnail looked way better, and my video editing on the episode is better.
I think if Stargiant were to make a drinking game out of their narcissistic claims, then I'd be wasted after like 5 minutes, let alone however long this video would have been. Like seriously, you're getting mad over a thumbnail update because the old one had you being chased by Mr. Enter with a chainsaw just shows that your biblical levels of petty. Get your head out of your ass, you absolute crybaby.
Hey, why is none of my good stuff mentioned? Like how I saved Whis from committing suicide 20 times. Without me, she'd be dead. You have to mention the good of me, otherwise you're a one-sided manipulator, and John is a manipulator and an abuser. Also, him doing this sex controversy makes me want to kick him in the balls.
I think it's because of you having no good stuff to mention, as in this paragraph, you call someone an abuser, misgender and date him a trans guy, and just straight up admit that you want to assault Mr. Enter.
Because I never actually committed the crime. If I did, then there's no reason to not report it earlier. All John's team did is Photoshop shit to make it look like I'm the bad guy.
Whoa there, buddy. Okay, that is a wild-ass claim. Just because half the shit you asked me to do was Photoshop jobs doesn't mean we went out of our way to fabricate evidence against you. Every single video that talks about Star Giant Productions has mountains of evidence, and they're all legit. Something you would know if you watched the fucking videos. Say, Star Giant, why don't you back that claim up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
First, let's go over Ariana/Nico. Yes, I did keep her in my server up to August 2021, but there was zero evidence of any grooming in MY server.
Zero evidence? Bitch, there's a confession call! Well, I'm 99% sure evidence of Nekopan's actions do exist. All those accusations levied against her are vindicated because she literally admitted to everything that she did. I had next to nothing to do with Nekopan, and even I know this.
I came to the relationship. I realized, and I thought long and hard, I did not give myself time to get over a previous breakup I had of a 3-year relationship. And I ended up jumping into something that I ended up realizing this was a really bad idea. A really fucking bad idea.
I'm confused. What do you mean?
Like, he was turning 18 in like a month or so at the time.
Oh no. 18?
Well, here's the thing. There was no sexual. There was no sexual anything.
But why did you tell me that you would do bad calls and everything to my face? All the time. You would smear it to my face.
You literally sent me some sexual role plays you've had with him.
Well,
you also talked about it in the group chat that we used to be in.
I meant, like, we're not sending nudes or anything, not like that, no.
But you still had a sexual conversation with a minor.
And I realized that was the dumbest fucking thing I did. I accept that.
What more evidence do you want, Star Giant? Do you want Nekopan to confess again? Do you want to talk to the victims again? Do you want someone to make an hour-long documentary about Nekopan? Her confession call is right there for your viewing convenience. The fact that you talked to the victims is a well-known fact because you gave me access to the call. And John's video about the whole Nekopan and Mystic Mongol shit gives everyone who watches it the full context of who Nekopan is and what she caused for everyone. Oh, but how could I forget? You actively avoid John's content, and you blatantly ignore the victim's email because you don't know how to fucking read. Silly me.
But since Ariana was never considered guilty by the law, it means that she did nothing wrong. To this day, she's still innocent. I only blocked her in August 2021 because someone was blackmailing me my address via doxing, and I blocked Ariana just so the blackmailing could stop.
So, let me get this fucking straight. Not only do you believe that Nekopan, a very dangerous, self-admitted child predator, is completely innocent because she was never convicted by the court, but you also state that the reason you blocked her in the first place was because you didn't want somebody to dox your address. Fucking what? You know, the more you read this, the worse it gets. Honestly, if Star Giant is this stupid, then who's to say that they wouldn't leak their address of their own accord, even by mistake?
Then there's Sean. People claimed he posted child pornography in my server and that I still kept him around for 5 days. False. The 5 days part is correct, but no child porn was shown in my server. They claimed a child in a bikini was shown. That is not child porn.
First off, Sean Sor wasn't around for 5 days. Because you hired him as an artist meant that he was around for almost as long as Nekopan was. And in that time, he has drawn fetish art featuring Netflix's Hilda, an 11-year-old girl. And fine, if we pretend that seeing a child in a bikini isn't illegal, which it probably isn't, then him posting shit like this is so fucking creepy.
Lastly, there's Brandon. He was accused of grooming minors. But once again, because the law never stated that he was a criminal, this is why I find him innocent.
I said all I need to about Brandon way back when, but again, just because the courts don't state that someone is a predator doesn't mean that they're not guilty of predation. And to reiterate, there is still mountains of evidence against Brandon, something that you'd know if you watch the fucking videos.
I have 0 victims. I have not hurt a single person in my entire life. I never abused anyone. I don't give a fucking shit anymore when people say that I hurt someone. No, I did not. You claim that I did. Take me to court. It's been 17 months since I have been reported to the authorities like the police and the FBI. The fact that they both said that I am not guilty is all the proof that I will ever need to know that I did nothing wrong.
You have many victims, and some are still recovering to this very day. I would know. Also, you say you want to be taken to court as a way to prove your innocence, but I guarantee, if the judge and jury look at any of the evidence we present that you refuse to look at, they would probably declare you guilty on the spot. It's like you're just begging to be arrested at this point.
By the way, did you know that Christina V, my favorite actress ever who is also my idol, sided with me in the Denzel Crocker Day controversy? So she knows what I've been through, and yet she believes in my innocence in the end. This is proof that she's a wonderful person.
Again, somebody please get this woman a fucking restraining order. If Christina V ever cared enough to do her own research on this topic, then she would want absolutely nothing to do with you. In fact, if anyone out there is even remotely connected to Christina V, please send her any of the videos made about Star Giant Productions, except maybe any of mine. Star Giant can't get away with this. They can't just say that they're completely innocent just because Senpai says so. Ooh woo.
Anna stalked me for over a year, and I only found out she did this last month. Oh, and both you and Grace if I ever get arrested for wiretapping, which I won't. But either way, I'm throwing both of you under the bus for Grace recording a call in Phantom Strider's server without permission from anyone, and Anna secretly gathering information to John from MY's server without MY permission.
Okay, so whether she did this or not, Grace recording a call without people's consent is completely within her legal right because she lives in a one-party consent state. Also, I have some shit to say here. Dashi's become a real good friend to me over the past year, so I'm gonna nip this in the bud before anyone actually believes this bullshit. Dashi was not the one gathering information to John. Dashi was never the one gathering information to John. I was. This is a crystal clear fact that you would know if you watched the fucking video, or any of these videos for that matter. Dashi wasn't involved in the making of any of these videos because she literally wasn't there. That venting server I made to help Star Giant members in need didn't even become evidence until after I had already left. And as it is right now, making that server was one of the biggest mistakes in my life. Dashi being thrown under the bus like this is not only undeserved, but also unwanted and also unjustified. Dashi doesn't deserve any of this shit. Leave Dashi alone. Hey guys, Editor Matti here. So I just stumbled upon this little screenshot after initially brushing it off after somebody shared a link with me, where it shares a screenshot with that venting server I mentioned. There's 3 of these, and while the other 2 are still misgendering and dead naming Wes, which I've already mentioned is quite anger inducing, the one in between gives us a little bit more to go over. First off, this is a true statement, so I'll give Star Giant that. I did in fact block them without saying a word. Wes said this in his own video, so now I'll say it in mine. I have the right to block anyone for any reason, which is what the block button is often used for. Also, when somebody blocks you, you are not owed an explanation as to why, and if you want an explanation, then here you fucking go. My reason as to why I blocked you is pretty much like everyone else who blocked you. You annoyed the fuck out of me to the point where I just couldn't deal with you anymore no matter how hard I tried. And if you want a more specific reason, then it was likely after 6 months of doing my own thing after I quit my job. Before and after, people have told me the same 3 words over and over again. You deserve better. I know I've said I'm tired of being told these words, but they're not as inaccurate as I initially let on. Ever since I announced that I quit, people told me that my art, especially at the time, was worth much, much more than what I was coerced into thinking what you thought was a fair wage. And since then, I've gotten numerous commissions from people from all walks of life, and in less than 3 months, I have made more money than I ever did working for Star Giant. People have also told me that I deserve better friends, which is also true given that I've associated myself in circles that have no relation to Star Giant or Mr. Enter. And they treated me with all the respect, care, and even admiration that a guy like me could ever want. All because people have continuously told me that I deserve better, and they were right. I had every reason to block you, Star Giant. Every reason I give in videos can easily make people think that my decision was justified. Especially now, if this is how you treat the people who cut all ties with you. Also, I won't call what was said in this moment misremembering. The discussion is right there, black and white, as clear as crystal. But fine, whatever floats your boat, I guess. But I do want to say that I find it very hypocritical that you think you can sue me for what you call wiretapping, when A, this isn't what wiretapping is, and B, you've done what wiretapping actually is on multiple occasions. Also, this screenshot in particular didn't come from your server, it came from a server that I made that again didn't become evidence until after I had already left and transferred ownership to someone else. If I wanted to, I could take a screenshot of any conversation and post it publicly because the only person whose permission I needed was my own. But I didn't. I kept my word when I said that that server was sacred and not meant to be shared because I'm not even the one who took that screenshot. If you want to be mad at me, I hope you're ready to be fitted for an orange jumpsuit because this would not fly given everything I have against you. But as you said, it costs way too much to sue or countersue somebody and you're too busy blowing all your money to meet voice actors. Intermission over, let's get back to the show. And last but not least, we have this irrelevant claim.
Oh, and John, my female name is Rebecca, not Rebecca, and Rachel is Rachel, not Rachel.
It doesn't fucking matter how to spell your name if you detransitioned. People misspell other people's names all the time. I would know, but it's irrelevant, so who cares? This is a script talking about a very serious topic, and the last thing on anybody's minds is how to spell your fucking name. And finally, that's all I wanted to go over on the chapter titled Mr. Enter Got Involved. But sadly, there's still more of this script for me to go over.
From the very beginning, I have always protected the innocent. I believe those that have done nothing wrong deserve justice, and those that have done bad deserve punishment.
So you claim to protect the innocent and think that those who have done bad things deserve punishment, when in the script, you claim that the very dangerous Nekopan is innocent, while Mr. Enter, the guy who brought all this to light, deserves to be kicked in the balls.
I had that accusation thrown at me in the past. But no, I am the victim in MY situation. I 100% stand by that forever because it is the 100% truth.
The fact that you still state that you're in the right when plenty of people have presented mountains of evidence to state the contrary makes us think that you're just that stupid. But oh no, like we established earlier, you believe that all the evidence against you is photoshopped.
Funny story, I actually did apply to edit for Rachel in 2019. I thought it was going to be a paid job. When I asked her how much will I make, she said, oh, $0. This is a volunteer thing only, sorry. I left immediately after that. I don't recall blocking her, but I did leave her server, probably for the best. Same reason for why I left Cosmodora's server. Let's just say that I dodged 2 bullets right there. Simply put, I'm not editing for free.
Ah yes, because that's what KP needs, an editor who makes her content a lot worse than it already is. And if I'm interpreting the script right, which I'm probably not, but bear with me here, not only did you apply to be an editor for KP, but also apply to be an editor for fucking Cosmodor. Cosmodor, another dangerous child predator who admitted to everything he did. At this point, I believe that the Star Giant isn't trying to join the cartoon community, they're actively trying to fit right in with the freaks of the community who want to do it with children. Oh my god, somebody please shoot me.
I was banned from Josh Scorcher's and Shafrilaz's server thanks to Phineas banning me. I was never allowed to defend myself, but because of internet justice that is allowed. And that is a problem.
Phineas still actively finds it funny that you fear him the most out of anyone in this case, even more than someone like Lyle Convoy, for instance. But given how you've been presenting a case for your innocence, Josh Scorcher and Shafrilaz would have banned you anyway because you still actively defend child predators in the script. Case in point.
This is the most serious that I will ever be, so let me be clear about what I am about to say. The real courts are the only place to determine the guilt of a person. Innocent until proven guilty is what I stand by. Every human being is innocent. You are innocent if you are not in prison.
So what this boils down to is that if you're not in prison, you are innocent. Even if you're someone like a child predator, a petty thief, a drug dealer, or maybe even a serial killer. All the bad guys in the world are completely innocent little angels while Spider-Man is the abuser for beating up these criminals. Everybody in my world is completely innocent and everything is all sunshine and rainbows, right guys?
Here's a riddle. What do Chugaconry, Christina V, and I have in common? Here's the correct answer. All were accused of crimes in winter 2024 that left certain social media platforms due to getting death threats and lawsuit threats despite all 3 being able to prove their innocence.
Okay, so I don't know about Christina V, but I'm pretty sure she is a very nice woman. Maybe a bit too nice if she's still putting up with your bullshit. But the thing about Chugga Conroy is that he's literally on your ban list. Why? Because he's just another wayward abuser. The math is not mathing and the plot is totally lost. Because let's not forget, this is supposed to be a script for a video talking about the Saberspark drama.
A question that has arisen throughout this controversy is, what should Steven do? This is not the easiest question to answer because there are multiple ways out, but none of them are really that good of an answer. There is no one simple answer here. People say that Steven should sue Rachel, and he is definitely in the right to do so, but I don't see the need to do so.
Now I do agree, there is no simple solution to what Saberspark should do when it comes to being falsely accused of rape. But what I do think is that if he has the capability to, he should try suing either KP or Emily Jones. Will it happen? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But needless to say, this entire script pretty much contributes nothing to the case. It's literally just you trying to get involved because Mr. Enter got involved, which is the bad basis for an investigation, if you can even call the script investigating.
This happens to some YouTubers I've noticed. They get into a controversy, fight it off and win, and the prize is getting married. That happened to Steven, that happened to Mr. Beast, and that happened to, well, me. I'm getting married to Chelsea next year in 2026.
Okay, now this is a stupid take. If you fight off controversy and win, the prize isn't marriage. There is no prize. They're simply proving your innocence and your guilt. The fact that Star Giant believes that a spouse is a prize to be won is a fucking rancid take to have. Marriage is the culmination of a mutual connection, respect, understanding, trust, and most importantly, affection. A spouse is something a person has to earn after years of proving your affection to someone that you're willing to do anything for out of love. No relationship is perfect either. Sometimes your partner gets scared, second guesses themselves. They battle their own demons as much as you battle your own. But if you have someone you love, then you can lift each other's sorrows and light their way in darkness. Because that's what love is. But what do I know? I'm just some dopey internet artist who hasn't been lucky to experience that connection yet. But what I do know is that getting married on a whim after only 18 months can only result in tragedy. Sorry for that little side tangent. Let's just keep moving.
Look, when I made my abuse video, I was forced into a corner. I could no longer stay silent about the people hurting me, ruining my life.
I mean, technically you could have. No one was forcing you to make that video. Not even John. If you stayed silent, people probably wouldn't have clowned on the video so much, and you could just keep making your shitty reviews until the setting of the sun. This probably would have prevented actual harm from being done both to your little girlfriend, but also to people like Dar, who had the worst outcome from associating with you at all. It also would have prevented me from having the ability to speak out against you, given that if I didn't testify, no one would even know who I am, and I wouldn't even be here today. The only person to blame for that abuse video being as bad as it was is yourself. And this video script isn't even any better. We finally reached the conclusion, and Stargiant does give one apology to one person. It's not to Mr. Enter or his team for being an abusive asshole. It's not to Saberspark for writing this video. It's not to Dashi or Dar for throwing them under the bus. It's not to their grooming victim for damaging them to the extent that Stargiant did. It's not to Rosemary Ramsey for putting her in a bad situation and leaving her high and dry when that 4-hour Senate call happened. And it's definitely not to me for everything you put me through, be it testifying in your shitty abuse video, not properly paying or crediting me for my work, or sexually harassing me. Nope. The one person that Stargiant apologizes to is Lily fucking Orchard.
You know what? I'm tired of hiding this. I want to make an apology to Lily Orchard CD Call right now. I was way too harsh to her over the years. I said that my Mr. Enter dressing my abuse videos were the worst videos that I have ever made. But the second worst videos that I have ever made were all my CD Call videos. CD Call is an innocent human being in everything. After what happened to me on March 15, 2024, I realized that the internet throwing shit or internet justice into our faces is just face value and malicious. I don't apologize to John or any of his team because I did nothing wrong. I will apologize to CD Call because that is the only person in life that I have ever wronged. She's really an amazing person and I'm tired of stating otherwise.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Yes, that Lily Orchard. Lily Orchard who sexually assaulted her sister at a young age. Lily Orchard who subsequently wrote Stockholm, an incestuous fanfiction between MLP characters. Lily Orchard who faked having a girlfriend named Tara Kelly and the shit show that came with it. Lily Orchard who you made videos about for hours at a time, not going over her actual crimes but her bad media takes. Hours at a time. And throughout all this, all of the Saberspark controversy, shit, even her own controversy, Lily Orchard is the last person who's innocent and deserves an apology. And while Courtney isn't all that innocent either, she does have valid reasons for being psychologically damaged because of what Lily did to her. And this is it, folks. This is the biggest reason that Stargiant shouldn't have a platform, nor do they deserve one. But we're still not done. In one of the final statements, Stargiant does name drop somebody named Senita.
I stated this before, but anyone shit talking me, I'm not going after them. But anyone that goes after my friends, family, or anyone else I love admire, they're getting their asses beat. I will call them out. I did that with Senita last week.
So why is this important if nobody knows who this Senita actually is? Well, we found a third script detailing what Stargiant calls the Senita controversy. So who is Senita?
I talked about this issue before in my addressing my abuse video. For the record, I hate that video for how depressing it is, and it being 3 hours was too long. It's probably my worst video ever. But one thing that I brought up was the fart fetish issue. People didn't understand it and thought it was just random fetish shit.
This is Chelsea's mother. This entire script is Stargiant outing who Chelsea's family is, what Senita did to her daughter, and dipping their toes in another thing that has next to nothing to do with them. Now, I'm not going to go over this whole document because, well, obviously, this has nothing to do with me. It's not my business. But I will say this. Senita is an awful individual. She abused her family and should absolutely face some consequences for what she did. Now, if Stargiant does come back, I will say that you just straight up shouldn't make this video, like, ever. What happened with Chelsea and her mother is something that should be handled by a fucking therapist and not an online sex pest whose YouTube return is dead on arrival. So what happens now? Well, at the time of writing, Stargiant has fled again. The DeviantArt account is deactivated, Sushi Cookie is nowhere to be found, and our informant has no contact with Stargiant anymore. Well, Sage Floppy is another individual we know next to nothing about, other than the fact that they still support Stargiant and still willingly edit for free. Chelsea is a character. I personally tried contacting her both times Stargiant got exposed. This time, however, I tried to be friendly with her, and after almost 2 years of not speaking to me, she asks me for money to help with a passion project of hers. And while I did donate a little bit to help her out, it's still a little scummy to not speak to someone and after almost 2 years, the first thing you do is ask them for money. Some friend. And despite my own minor personal grievances with her, I don't think Chelsea is as bad as I'd let on. She's just had a bad influence. By the time this video enters the editing phase, John will have made a video about the situation himself. I mean, like, duh, that's probably why you're here in the first place. He also plans to make an entire document going over each and every little thing Star Giant has done, just in case we need to present an argument in court or something. I don't know what he plans to do with it. I don't have much to specifically say about the Saberspark drama despite my involvement in Mr. Enter's team, but I do have things to say about the characters involved in this story. To Star Giant, if you're watching, you have hurt many people. Stop trying to prove the contrary. You are not the main character, and you have no business being on the internet anymore. I'll be leaving a song for you to listen to with lyrics that perfectly describe your situation and subsequently using it for the outro of this video. It's a Madoka Magica song, so you're automatically gonna love it. To Chelsea, despite everything I said about you, if I sounded mean or angry by bringing you up in this video at all, I sincerely apologize. I want to make this clear. Despite everything, I don't want bad things to come of you. I just want you to run as far away from this thing as you can. To Mr. Enter and Lazy, I still personally thank both of you for giving me the platform to share my own thoughts on not only this subject, but also other things I cover on this channel. To my audience, please share this video around and spread awareness to the kind of person that Star Giant is. They're not innocent, and it's only a matter of time before someone else gets hurt. Innocent people getting hurt by Star Giant is something that I don't want to happen to anyone ever again. Some may call me a hero for making this video. Others may say I'm seeking vigilantism by making this video, but I am not either of those things. Despite my online persona, I'm not a real superhero. I'm just an artist on the internet just trying to make it in life, and a guy who just wants to do the right thing. And what about me? What's the ending to my story here? Well, pretty much next to nothing changes. I'm not going to get rewarded with a spouse, nor do I think I'll have anything to gain from all of this. I'm still going to make videos, do live streams, maybe a few song covers, and just try to see what sticks. I don't have much of a YouTube following, but I still want to make something of myself that isn't tied to Star Giant Productions. As it stands right now, some of my videos haven't surpassed 1,000 views, so to any newcomers, I must implore you, please go watch my other videos after this. The one you're watching right now makes me fucking miserable and is not what I want my channel to be about going forward. This channel is mainly focused on things like art, superheroes, movies, and video games. You know, things that make me happy. Talking about Star Giant does not make me happy, which is why hopefully this is the last time I'll ever have to talk about any of this at all. But the sad truth is, I know for a fact that it won't be. Star Giant may have fled now, but it's only a matter of time before they make another comeback, making the cycle repeat. And every subsequent time they talk about me, I won't hold back. I will keep fighting for what I believe in, for as long as it possibly takes. I'll see you again in 17 months, Ryan. For now though, I believe that's all from me today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that fun stuff, and go watch my actually fun stuff and have a good time. I'm Matti Abraham, an artist on the internet, and I am very tired. I'm probably gonna go take a long rest. Stay friendly, neighbors. Bye.